What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Wild Wormhole YouTube channel. I'm DHaus here with my top 8 match in the Sanctumonius High SAS Reversal League. Basically, you had to bring a deck that was at least 70 SAS and then give it to your opponent. And I made it out of the group stage and ended up in top 16 and neglected to record my top 16 match. But I said I better record top 8 because it's against the one and only JakeFryd of the Sanctumonius podcast, and I kind of wish we were recording together right now, actually, but want to record it and show you what's happening. So I did record this, and then I'm doing commentary afterwards because sometimes I just prefer to play and then talk about it later. But the deck he gave me is the always aimless Oakenth Logos Mars Sanctum, basically AOA deck. You can see the deck list there. It does have Martian Generosity, which definitely piqued my interest, and a Doorstep to Heaven, and a couple Professor Sutterkins, which is always interesting and lots of fun. And so I'm going to hit play on this, and then I will stop when I am able to show the other deck. It also has Neutron Shark, which is great for board control. So there you see the deck. I've used the entire tournament, Hexawanton. So if you've followed this series at all, it might look a little familiar. But Saurian Shadows Untamed, it has a lot of anti-steal stuff in it. But I figured in a tournament like this, no one's going to be giving a lot of steal away. Or at least I figured that way. So it can go off because it's got the Sanctumonius Rex, Golden Spiral, and the Library Polysaurus. So you can get all that amber back too. And it's got Tribute and Scudum and stuff like that. And then Shadows is fine. It's not crazy. And then the Untamed is just Nature's Call, Key Charge, craziness. So, but yeah. So I really love Reversal. I think it's very interesting variant format, whatever it's called. So, anyways, let's get the game going. Looking at my hand, I've got Sutterkin, Archimedes, Martian Generosity, Little Martian Guy, Spirit's Way, Golden Aura, Sanctum Guardian with Taunt. So I'm thinking drop the Taunt guy and put Sutterkin next to him so that it kind of protects Sutterkin. I could also put Archimedes next to Sutterkin because Sutterkin has a Reap ability that you draw a card for each Logos creature you have, and it can be bananas, but he only has 2 power and can just get destroyed really quickly. So he can be a little vulnerable if you're not if you don't have a way to protect him. I would put him on the same level as maybe not the same level, but like a JV Witch. If you caught that episode of Wild Wormhole, like a Hunting Witch and Witch of the Eye and stuff like that. You just don't want to leave them alive very long. You want to be able to take advantage and kill them and get them off the table because that can really crush all your dreams. So I'm sticking with my hand. Just waiting to see if Jake's gonna mulligan and he hit the grab his food out of the microwave. Just fine, guys. Priorities. You can't be playing KeyForge on an empty stomach. That's for sure. So looking at this hand immediately, I like keeping the Martian Generosity early because late game it's not great. But early to be able to burst a big hand. If you don't know what Martian Generosity is, it gives you an Amber Pip. It says lose all your Amber and then draw 2 cards for each Amber you lost. And so typically you want to hit that 4 or 5 range if possible to really draw 10 to 12 cards. So I ended up going with my taunting my taunt dude here. Let's see. Sorry, the quality isn't as clear as normal. What I recorded on my Mac laptop. But anyways, so he drops the Spiral Library and Sanctumonius Rex. So immediately, I know I have to kill off my Guardian, or somehow get rid of him because I can't just place a bunch of guys out. If I played Sutterkin Archimedes right now, that would be one of the worst things I could do. So, because Sanctumonius Rex, after you fight, you may exalt him, and then you ready all of your other cards. So, when you're readying the Library Polysaurus, that says action move 1 from a friendly creature to your pool. So that exalting, you're readying that every time. So as long as he has creatures to fight, then you're doing okay. So just decide to reap and then play Spirit's Way and kill the Rex. So luckily I did have the Spirit's Way because I couldn't even fight into him and die because he had he just had more health. So yeah. So anyway, so I was hoping to protect Sutterkin and get him out there for an early burst, but gotta protect against the combo because that's what because I know my deck Hex the Wanton. I know what it can do if it's left unchecked. So so drew into Maruk the Marked and a Binate Rupture. So Jake plays the Untamed Plant after player chooses Untamed as their active house, gain 1. The plants were a weird type of card that came out. But yeah. He drops a Vinda. I'll just leave it. Leave it as is. So yeah, just looking at my hand. Okay, so he decides to discard the Hawk instead of using it to kill his own library or Golden Spiral, which I think is correct. You'd burst 2, but those artifacts are so good. So here comes Archimedes and Sutterkin. I did get to play the Binate Rupture for to get an Amber because he didn't have any Amber yet. So that always feels good because a lot of times Binate Rupture can be such a dead card. So I'm looking at Hypno Beam. I just drew into it. And immediately I'm looking at that the Untamed Plant because I can just take his plant, leave it there, and if he calls Untamed, I'm getting an Amber every time he does that. But he also has a Vind out there, which is reap, deal 1 to a creature, and then he discards a card from my hand. So if I take the Untamed Plant, a Vinda can just kill it and get a card out of my hand. So anyways, it'll be interesting. He does go Shadows. Pestering Blow onto, I imagine, Sutterkin, enraging him so he can't, he can't do his reap tricks. And then he opts to fight into Archimedes twice to clear that because Archimedes, to be able to, when Archimedes gives the destroyed tag on his neighbors, and if they're destroyed, they go to the archive. So again, deciding what to do here with the hand I have. The Martian Generosity is just something I have to figure out if I want to do or not. But I think ultimately I'm playing the Martian Generosity and able to draw 6 cards. Right now to sort of burst forward feels worth it. So, and I did draw a bunch of Mars stuff. So I think it was fine to do it there. I have very little experience with Martian Generosity, so you may be looking at this saying, you dummy, you should have done the other play or whatever. But here we are. So yeah, so here comes the Hypno Beam. Give me that Untamed Plant. And ultimately decided to take the plant because I saw that I have the not the fixed finger, the Bean Buckler, I think it's called. This guy, yeah. So he can deal 2 to Avinda and kill him before he can kill the Untamed Plant. So now every time he plays every time he calls Untamed, I'm gonna get an Amber. So and get out the pheromones. And there we go. That's the turn. So yeah, so got to get a bunch of Mars guys out. Love seeing Mars first come out when I've got the Harvester. Yeah, because the Harvester gets to reap and get an extra one, so that's a nice little burst there too. So back to Jake. Now, what he could do if he wants the Untamed Plant back, he could go Shadows into Simon, fight the Untamed Plant, and it would put it back on his deck. I just don't know if he wants that. So he does go Untamed, which means I get an Amber out of that. Pose Pixies. Pose Pixies has saved me in more than one game. And then the Kingafant. So that's a bit of a problem, because this whole Reap, Destroy this creature effect. And then he Nature's Calls. See who's going to bounce back. All right, so Fixed Finger, Mindworm, and Professor Sutterkin. So, yeah, so now it's like, what do I do? Because I do have the Mindworm, which I can Mars first and ready him and then kill some things. Because he's got the Kingafant, makes it a little difficult to figure out what to do here. So, yep, decided to go Mars. Played Mars first on the Mindworm before fight. The creature, basically, he does 1 to each, so he does 1 to Simon, 1 to Kingafant. So Kingafant now is a damage, so I can attack him with Bean Buckler and kill him. The problem is, yeah, so now Bean Buckler could be killed really easily, and then Harvester will be unable to be used. Can't get to check, but got to 5 Amber. Yeah, reversal can be tough too, because you're getting a deck you've never played, trying to play out combos or figure out how things work or the order and sequencing of stuff. So here comes Stomp. Stomp kills the Bean Buckler, which means Harvester now can't do anything next to that Untamed Plant, so that's a little unfortunate. So he Golden Spirals the Questor Jarda to ready him and do his thing, because he can also use the Library Polysaurus to add Amber to his pool. So now he's at check. All right. So again, just more choices. Lots of creatures in my hand. I do have the Combat Pheromones. So yeah, using the pheromones. This is where I think I goof up. I mess up here, but I was thinking the Harvester text was it cannot reap while it doesn't have, well, it has a non-Mars neighbor, but it says it can't be used. So if you listen to our recent episode, you'll see sometimes I don't read the cards. I just assume I know what they do, and oops. So yeah, so I put the Protect the Weak on them because I think I can click them and fight with him. That's when I realized, oh, I can't use them at all. It's not just reaping, so that was an epic fail. So this is the quality KeyForge content you come to the Wild Wormhole for, right? So yeah, so kind of a waste there. But so I have Abon, the Armor Smith, and the Fixed Finger out there. So it's giving me some extra armor on lots of guys. All right, so again, lots of creatures in my hand with a Doorstep to Heaven, which could be good if he bursts up this next round. I've got some Sanctum guys out there to also play if I can forge. The Logos package is very draw heavy because Philo the Researcher, when you play someone next to him, you get to draw cards. So I could play Philo Researcher, Igor, so essentially drawing 2 cards out of that, and then Sutterkin. All right, so yep, so it's back to Jake. He goes Untamed, so I get an Amber from the Untamed plant for that. Molfin, Fogbank stopping me from fighting. Discarding Song of the Wild, so he's not able to get to check. I'm gonna be able to forge. And I've got these 2 Mars creatures out there. He just called Untamed, so I'm looking at the Bean Buckler as, hey, I've gotten some good advantage out of this Untamed plant, and I can't use this Harvester. So it might be best to kill this Untamed plant to free up the Harvester to do some crazy reaping stuff. And I think that's what I go to do. Yep. So yeah, so I'm killing the Untamed plant, giving it back. Because I feel like bursting right now is the best option for me. I'm ahead of him, so I want to just kind of get myself into check and put him in a spot where he has to answer or give me my second key and just sort of put the pressure on. So ultimately, that Harvester reaping and getting me the extra Amber is like 2 extra Untamed turns for him. So I think the value is still there. And I also, yeah, so I'm looking in there to see what I have in there because the Proliferator can archive a Mars card into my archives if he's on the flank. And lots of good options between Hypno Beam, Martian Generosity, Mars First, especially Mars First with the Harvester. Again, just more burst. Did draw into Remote Access, and I believe that Mars card is Destroy Them All. It's like destroy a creature, an upgrade, and an artifact. There's the Fangtooth Cavern. Everyone's favorite card. Grasping Vines, pulling it back, playing it again, getting that Amber. Now this is where, if he doesn't pull me off, I could doorstep. So Molfine fights Abon to get rid of that. So, yep. And then, but Fangtooth killed my Mindworm, unfortunately. So looking at my battle line, the next thing the Fangtooth Cavern's gonna kill would be my Fixed Finger, which may make the Harvester not work. So I'm looking at destroy them all. I can destroy an artifact, and I can get rid of that Fangtooth Cavern and just continue to burst with Mars. So it only gets one card out of my hand, but I think again it's the whole thing of like putting the pressure on with where we're at. So I'm conceding the key here by not going doorstep, but I get to kill his Jarda, and I believe by reaping I hit 6 here. So yep. So again, more pressure. So conceding the key, but getting to check on my final key. So I'm going to go in and archive a Mars card. So there's a lot of choices there, but I end up going Mars first here. I believe just because, again, it's more pressure. There's a moment in every KeyForge game when you kind of realize, like, you've got the wheel of the car, and in most games, and you have to know when to hit the gas. And I'm not saying I haven't figured out. I'm just saying I think that's why I did that there. So Odiak comes out, captures one, pulls me off check. Gargantodon comes out, so I'm not stealing anything. Oh, and then there's the tribute. So lots of amber going on the old Gargantodon. So exalts him, does it twice. So there goes all my amber on that for that third key. Now looking at my hand, I obviously have the Neutron Shark. So Neutron Shark can just kill him. So he uses Golden Spiral to exalt and use Odiak to make him fight the Harvester. Yeah, killing the Harvester. So he killed the Harvester because I just went back into Mars first. And he knows that if he leaves them there, then I'm getting some great value there. So this is where I'm going logos because I know I can use Neutron Shark to kill Gargantodon. But first I'm going to do Fila the Researcher because when I play something next to him, he's going to I'm going to get a free card. So I'm going to do Fila first. Drew a Cutthroat Research. Now Igor is going to get me one of these cards. I'm get Archimedes because just more Neutron Shark targets as well. Which Neutron Shark with Archimedes as well is like crazy synergy, right? Because his neighbors get destroyed, put in the archives. So the second I play that Neutron Shark, I can do Igor. He goes into the archives and just lots of crazy things. So now I just played the Sutterkin and I realized remote access. I can use an artifact as if opponent's artifact as if it's mine. So I can use his Golden Spiral to exalt and ready Sutterkin, and then reap, which allows me to draw 4 cards for one for each logos. So that feels pretty dang good. It's like a Martian generosity there. So there you go. Or 3 cards. 3 cards? 4 cards? 3 cards. 4 cards. So then I get the standardized testing, which also kills Gargantodon, and it'll kill Philo the Researcher, but I think at this point it's okay. So just checking to make sure that's the right play here, but I believe it is. So I didn't even have to Neutron Shark. Play out the other Sutterkin, which double Sutterkin is insane. Like, the value is just so gross. So I killed the Gargantodon, got all that amber back, and was able to burst up. But remote access into Golden Spiral on a Sutterkin, man. So I'm holding back Neutron Shark just in case I need to kill some dinos or something like that. So Jake goes Shadows, and that's it. That is the game. Good game to Jake, and thanks to him and Dan for running the Sanctumonius Reversal High SAS League. That puts me in the top 4, and that game should be posted soon. So thanks so much for checking out the Wild Wormhole YouTube channel, and we'll we'll see you in the next one.